Welcome to the Beachbody Success Show, where inspiring success stories meet powerful how-to information that will lead you to ultimate success in fitness and in life. Whether you're new to fitness, a Beachbody veteran, or a fellow coach looking to build your business, our team of independent Beachbody coaches are here to lead you to new levels of success. Join us today by visiting teamfitmarriage.com. Here we go.
Hey everyone, this is Dustin Reekman, your host today on the Beachbody Success Show. We have a great interview coming up with Tony, and he's going to share all of his insights from his most recent experiences with Insanity. He just wrapped up his first round, and he has a lot of great information, great success tips, and some kind of behind-the-scenes info from his experiences going through Insanity. Before we get started, I wanted to let you guys know we just added a new resource for you. It's totally free of charge, and what it is, it's called the Beachbody Success Tips newsletter. So if you head over to our site at teamfitmarriage.com/tips, you'll be able to hop onto that. It's an email newsletter we're going to send you about once a week, and you definitely want to check it out because it's going to have a lot of great success tips, a lot of motivational stories, some product specials, and things like that I think will really go a long way towards keeping you on the right track with Beachbody. Again, whether that's a fitness pursuit, a business pursuit, we're gonna have a little of everything in there, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So definitely go get signed up for the Beachbody Success Tips newsletter. All right, well, Tony is on the line with us. Tony, tell us a little bit about Insanity. I guess if you want to start, maybe just give us an overview of what the program is.
Yeah, sure thing. Great to be here, Dustin, and great to be back with all you guys, man. I'm stoked to have you here and to share my Insanity experience with you guys because I know many of you have seen the infomercial. Maybe you've picked it up, talked to a buddy about it, and I'm going to tell you, Insanity is hard, but it's awesome at the same time, and it's for anybody. I've had a lot of people come up to me over the last 63 days or more now since I finished it a few days ago, and they asked me, can I do this? I'm 30 pounds overweight. I'm 40 pounds, 50 pounds overweight. Can I do this? Tony, when you started, you were already slim, and, you were already in shape. And by far, anybody, if you're out there and you just want to start getting back into shape, you can do this. And here's the thing. Even though I was in shape, Dustin, the first week hurt, even for me.
Yeah, I remember speaking with you during that first week, and despite your past and all the miles you had cycling, you were having some trouble walking, and you said it was a real challenge for you.
Not some trouble. I had a lot of trouble walking. That's an understatement. I mean, to move that first week hurt. And you know what? I looked at it. I just looked at it and I said, you know what? It means I'm changing up what I've been doing all along. I've been cycling for 7 years, doing the same motion, repetitive, same muscle groups. They got weak. They got tired. They knew what was going to happen. And by throwing in Insanity, it really just confused the living crud out of my whole body. And
that's a good thing.
That
right?
first week was tough. And I'm going to tell any of you, when you jump in, you got to be mentally tough. You got to be ready. You need to put the calendar up right where you can see it every day. That's what kept me going. Honestly, I had that calendar up every day, and I put a check mark when I finished up each time. And I just knew each day I was like, I'm going to just make it, and I'm going to do it. And that first week was just so rough because each day I felt more sore, and each day I just went right back into it and felt good, but there were many exercises, too, during that first couple of weeks even that I couldn't even finish. And so having the calendar up kept me very motivated and kept me moving forward.
That's a great tip. And one thing I wanted to say I forgot to mention at the beginning is towards the end of today's interview, you're going to share in detail all of your results. So people, I definitely encourage you to stick around to the end. We're going to kind of walk through the program, and again, tips like that with you really need to be mentally right and have a calendar to keep you motivated so you can cross off each of those 63 days. And we're going to be going through those, but I'm really excited to hear about your results. So we'll definitely get to that. But yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt, Tony. Go ahead and kind of walk us through your experiences and maybe some of the challenges you had, because I know you had a few along the way.
Yeah. So here's the first one that I had. So after the soreness went away, and here's a tip for any of you who are trying to figure out, okay, I'm going to get sore. What do I use? One of the products I love to use is called Arnica Gel. You can find it on Amazon if you have a Henry's around. That's a natural food store here that we have in San Diego. It is a great natural pain relief gel. And if you're going to use this and you're going to get sore, most likely, use this. I lathered it on through the entire 63 days. Not as much as I did in the first couple of weeks.
This is like a gel. It's sort of like a Bengay or something like that, but it doesn't have such a strong odor, and it's natural.
It has no smell at all, and it's an all-natural product. Yeah, Arnica Gel. We'll put links to that in the show notes. Let's do that, Dustin.
Yeah.
So that's one thing you want to pick up, and it just helps for relieving the pain that you're going to feel in your muscles. Number two, for myself, Insanity is a cardio-based, intense workout. Each workout, typically, if you're doing intervals, are 3 minutes of interval work, 4 exercises each, 30 seconds of break, and you're going to do that same 3-minute interval, 4 exercises 3 times. And then you're going to do another interval with 4 different exercises, same duration. A lot of them are jumping.
I guess that's exactly what I was going to ask. As someone who's familiar with P90X, I know one day in P90X is plyometrics, and talking to you about Insanity, it sounded like there was a lot of plyometric moves, a lot of jump training, and that sort of thing. Is that the case?
Every day.
Okay.
Every day. Today I'm just going back through it and adding some other stuff on different days. But today I did cardio. I'm just trying to think what I did. Pure cardio. A lot. Again, it's still a lot of jumping. A lot of, dynamic movements. And for myself, I am outside of my garage. That the greatest thing about Insanity, P90X, whatever, at-home workouts. Great. I wake up at 5:30 a.m. I roll out of bed. I get sort of situated. It takes me about 15, 20 minutes. I'm in my garage, and I'm hitting play. Well, in the garage, we have concrete. And I didn't realize that a lot of this jumping was having an impact on my feet. So the second week after the soreness was sort of dying down, my feet started to ache. And I didn't understand why. Well, one was I was wearing a running shoe. And a running shoe is made to run. It's pretty much made to go forward in that direction. So I did some research and learned that Nike and other companies make training shoes. Wider base, they're made for training, such as an Insanity workout, P90X workout. And so I went out, purchased some training shoes from Nike. I also purchased Superfeet, which is an insole that you can put in. It's not the one that only comes with the shoe itself. This is another $30 product, but it has the arch and everything, gives you a little more support. Purchased that. I also purchased, because I'm on my concrete floor, I purchased the Plyometric Mat, which is, it's by Maduka, I think it is. And folks can pick that up through the Beachbody shopping cart that we have.
Okay. So Beachbody sells that. So we'll also include a link to that in the show notes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's interesting, especially with the running shoe thing, because even personally, I haven't done Insanity yet. It's definitely something I'm intrigued by. But in my P90X workouts on plyometric days, I get some achy feet and have some trouble with stability, doing a lot of lateral jumping and things, wearing running shoes. So that's a good tip. That's something I'll have to look into, as well as maybe trying to find some better footwear.
Yeah. And the mat, the good thing about this plyometric mat, too, for those of you that are on a hard surface, it's a dense mat. It's not like a yoga mat, which I was using before, which is cushiony. This mat absorbs a lot of that striking, a lot of that power that's hitting. So it gives you a little more cushion. Loved it. Still use it to this day. And those three things, the shoes, the insoles, and the mat, made a huge difference on my feet. Which, as you guys know, if you're doing this, you don't want to get hurt. That's not the point. For us to work out, the whole point of it is to get better, get fit, feel good, not get hurt. So if you haven't done a lot of jumping stuff, take the precautions so you don't get hurt and you're able to succeed. Because we don't want to see you get in for a week, hurt your ankle because you're not wearing proper shoes or something, and then you're out. Or all the jumping and all the impact, because it's not just your feet. I mean, you can feel it through your knees, your hips. It goes all the way up. And really, by adding those three things, that decreased and pretty much alleviated that problem within a couple of days. Once my feet healed up from that impact, it's great. And I do not wear those shoes any other time other than when I'm doing my training stuff, my workout stuff.
That's excellent. And I know we'll link up to the mat, to the Arnica Gel, and I think we'll also link up to your particular shoes. Not that those might not be the shoes that someone wants to buy, but so they can get a better idea for the type of shoes you're talking about with the wider sole, and more for jump training. I think that'd be helpful to see those.
Yeah, and I picked up mine at Sports Authority.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I got mine, and we'll definitely look for those on there and link up to them.
Sure. So yes, and I think you talk about kind of having the right equipment, and really it's again the beauty of the at-home workout. That's really all the equipment you need is some sort of mat to absorb the energy, some decent shoes, and in your case some insoles to really help supplement that. Is that it? I mean, with Insanity, are there any kind of weights or resistance bands or chin-up bars or any of those sort of things?
Nothing. That's it. So on top of the cost of Insanity, my shoes cost $50. My insoles cost another $30, so there's another $80. And then my mat, if you need it, again, if you're inside and you're on carpet, you're probably not going to need a mat. You could use a yoga mat that you have or something to catch all your sweat. Yeah. It's advisable that you have something down because each workout is pretty much a sweat bath. So you're going to want something to catch your sweat or your carpet's just going to be nasty by the end. The mat, I want to say, is $90.
Okay. This is a high-end plyometrics mat.
This is a high-end plyometric mat. Yeah. So other than that, there's nothing else. Everything else is body weight workouts. Everything else. No bands, no chin-up bars, no weights, which is great for many of us, including myself, because I wanted something that I didn't have to pull out the dumbbells and then pull out a bench and pull up the chin-up bar and all that sort of stuff for this workout.
That's great. Is there one thing that most people probably don't think about with Insanity, it does come with, I don't know if it's a nutritional plan, but at least has nutritional guidelines, right? And we can jump back to the exercise portion. But I know that one of the features of Insanity is that you can burn up to 1,000 calories in a workout, and that's insane. that's major. So you have to account for that with your nutrition as well. So how did you and how does the Insanity program handle nutrition?
Yeah, it comes with a great nutrition guide, and even myself, who's been at the health and fitness and nutrition stuff for the last 12 years, I read through it all. I picked it up right before I started, went through it. They have a calories calculator in there to determine where you should be at for your caloric intake. They have some great recipes in there. Elisa and I already eat clean, and a lot of the meals that we do eat have just become habit-forming. They're very easy to prepare, especially with my lunches. We started Shakeology a couple of weeks after starting Insanity, and I will tell all of you folks that that was a huge boost for me. I noticed that I wasn't getting enough in when it came to protein, which with Shakeology, you get some more protein. You can actually add some Greek yogurt into it and blend it. It gives you probably about 40 grams of protein. Another big thing, though, because you're sweating so much, you're sweating out all those vitamins and minerals that are very vital to you. And I'm not a guy to take a bunch of vitamin and mineral pills. Tried it in the past. It doesn't work for me. So by drinking my daily Shakeology after my workout, that got in all those vitamin and minerals and probiotics that I need. So that was a big help. I did follow, some of their guidelines when it came to adding snacks and different things of that nature. Really good. Dug it. Just trying to think what other adjustments I have made. One of the bigger adjustments I've made is with protein, and really not looking so much at the calories. I realized that I needed to take in about 3,000 calories a day when I did my calculation. But at the same time, I really honed in on my protein intake because of the intensity of every workout. You're really breaking down your muscles every day.
Yep.
You're breaking them down each and every day. And you're doing this 6 days a week with 1 day rest. So you need to fuel your muscles. And the way to fuel your muscles and to have them recover is by getting in protein.
Yeah, and
so for me,
even in your case, even with Insanity, where I'm not, it doesn't involve weights or bands or chin-ups. So, I mean, you think, well, it's not really a resistance workout, but I know you're still doing a lot of upper body work, and I know you'll be sharing not only your results today in numbers, but you're going to have some photos that we'll be sharing on teamfitmarriage.com next week. And I know from what you've told me and just seeing some of your partial upper body shots on some of our Facebook videos that you've definitely picked up some mass. So there's definitely muscle building going on here, even though it may not sound like it's intended to be a resistance training workout. Is that right?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've noticed the definition in my upper body, in my abs. I can tell that, like, my biceps, even my measurements, and I did my measurements, even though those areas didn't grow, I can just tell that they're stronger. Like the muscle itself is tighter, which is really cool. And so, taking in protein is key. And I'm going to give you guys a couple of items that I've come across that I think will help you out. One I've already mentioned, Greek yogurt. Great stuff. Love it. And it will help you out dramatically when it comes to trying to get extra protein at a reasonable cost even, So that is a great one. You can do cottage cheese. I do probably about a cup of that every day. You can look at turkey jerky. That has good protein. You can go into your nuts, but also watch out with your nuts that, like a quarter cup of almonds, I think has 5 grams of protein. Your calories are up there, though. I mean, you take in almost 200 calories. So you got to watch that. A lot of people will just go to nuts because they're like, oh, they're good and healthy for you. They are, but you got to watch out, especially if you notice that you got to have a reduction in what your calorie intake has been in the past. Beans, I love to do a garbanzo and kidney bean salad with virgin olive oil and balsamic vinegar. I'll mix that up and I'll add some purple cabbage to it. But your beans there have the protein in it. I've tried a couple of protein bars, and I am forgetting the one that I eat right now.
Is it Pure Protein?
Pure Protein, that's it. Thank you. And that one, the smaller one, I buy a box of 18 at Costco. The smaller one has 20 grams. You can get a larger one that has 32 grams. Those are great. Trying to think what else I've been taking in. Obviously, your chicken, your salmon, your beef, dinner time, those all work out great.
Sure. So that's really key. I mean, you're kind of getting your 3 squares in on your meals, but your snacks in between meals, you're really focused on high-protein snacks.
Yeah, definitely. My morning snack is typically a cottage cheese with a half a cup of almonds or some sort of nut. So that gives me about 34 grams of protein and 400 to 500 calories.
And that's after you've had a Shakeology shake with some Greek yogurt to get that up to about a 40 gram. Because Shakeology on its own is, about 18 grams if you just mixed it with water. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I usually do mix that with water. And then in the morning as well, if I'm just really hungry after doing, especially when you get into that second month where it's all max intervals and each workout's almost about 60 minutes, I'll even eat an egg there as well in the morning.
Okay.
So that's another 6 grams of protein and about 100 calories.
I think that provides a good overview. I think something to kind of put this in perspective for people. So you're talking, what's your daily caloric intake then? You said over 3,000 calories?
Roughly around 3,000.
Yeah. Well, if you see
for
Tony, he's a thin guy. I mean, he's muscular and obviously more muscular now, and you'll see some photos next week on Team Fit Marriage. But what do you weigh, like 160, 165?
I started out, here's one of our results. We're gonna give it to
Okay.
you. Started out at 161, and I weighed myself at the end, and I was 166.
Okay, so you gained 5 pounds. You've gained
in muscle.
We'll talk about body fat percentage here in a second.
Yeah.
You gained more than 5 pounds of lean muscle mass throughout Insanity,
yes,
while losing some fat. And so,
yes,
again, to put that in perspective, you kind of hear these USDA recommendations, and you look at the back of a cereal box, and it says everyone should eat 2,000 calories. Well, Tony only weighs 165, and he's a fit 165, and he's eating 3,000 calories a day. Why? Because for one thing, he has a very intense workout, and I know you work outside during the day a lot, and you lead an active lifestyle. So I wanted to point that out just because people shouldn't get stuck on 2,000, and I think a tool like what comes with Insanity and the nutrition guide, where you can actually, based on your own lifestyle, your specifics, calculate your caloric needs, both if you want to gain muscle mass, like you were focused on, or if you're wanting to lose fat, and that's more of your focus, you might have a little caloric deficit built in. But there's a wide range of caloric needs here, and I think it's really fascinating that you eat more than I do in a caloric way. I weigh 200 pounds, so and I'm taller and just a little stockier build. But we have different goals. I'm trying to slim down more. You're trying to gain a little more in the muscle mass side, and it's amazing what a difference a 500 calorie a day change either way will make in our bodies. So I think that makes a great transition. If you want to talk about your results, so we've heard your weight. You gained 4 pounds then in weight, which
5
can be very
5
pounds, which can be very misleading because let's talk about your body fat percentage.
Yeah, so let's go down some of these cool results. And so I want to just tell everybody here, my whole goal with Insanity has been to tone up, get more muscular from my waist up. The 7 years of cycling, I have great muscles in my quads and my calves and my legs. Saying that, though, Insanity, like I said earlier, totally tore that up with all the different movements and exercises we were doing. So I know my legs have become stronger. My main goal, though, when I came into this was upper body. So I use a Slim Guide caliper to check for body fat percentage. And you can get that on Amazon. It's like $15. It's good enough. Make sure you just, when you do your own calculations, just make sure you pinch at the same place, or you have your spouse pinching, especially in the back of the arm and your back of your shoulder blade. Just make sure you're pinching at the same place. And
I think we'll do a future show actually on all about how to measure correctly so you can really see your results. I mean, I think between weight, body fat, some of the other parameters, and obviously physical measurements, like your waist size and things like that. Yeah. People do struggle a lot with that. I've adopted a policy of only weighing myself about once a phase, and as far as like P90X, so once every month or so. Because if you get to do it too frequently, you can get discouraged, and for no good reason. So that's great that you point out that you're using calipers in this case, and it's good enough as far as tracking relative changes in your body fat percentage.
Right. And I'm going to tell everybody, I weighed myself twice, before I started and when I ended. You know how I knew I was getting slimmer? My clothes were falling off of me. And I'll tell you, that's a better indication for me and for you than checking your weight every day. Don't care what that scale says, because we fluctuate each and every day. There were days when I could just tell I was bloated. It was a lot of water weight because I was just sucking down so much water because of the intensity of the workout, and then I was working outside. It was hot. I needed a gallon or 2 gallons of water in my body.
Yeah.
But in the course of those 2 months, my clothes have shifted drastically. Elisa has even noticed that. So don't check your weight every day. Body fat percentage, did it before, did it after. Before I started, 11.48%. That's what it comes up with, and I use an online calculator that we will link up to that you can use as well. I take 4 pinches, 4 measurements on my body. So 11.48 at the end, 9.09% body fat.
Awesome.
Stoked.
You lost over 2% body fat while gaining 5 or 6 pounds of weight. So clearly you gained, who knows, I mean, you could do the math. You might have gained 10 pounds of lean body mass.
Yeah. Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Which is just so killer.
Doing a high intensity cardio based workout, which if you listen to a lot of the noise out there in the fitness industry is nonsense. You know, like you can't do that. You have to be in the gym, you know, for an hour doing heavy weights to gain any muscle mass, and clearly that's not true. And you've shown that in just 63 days and what you did with Insanity.
Yep, exactly. When it came to my measurements, and I don't have them right in front of me, I'm going to tell you guys, I'll have a screenshot of it for you, though. My measurements didn't change much. You know, thigh, waist, bicep, a lot of that didn't change a lot. I mean, a half of an inch here, half of an inch there, maybe an inch in some places. Not what I was looking for. For someone out there who is, you know, maybe 30, 40 pounds overweight, you're going to probably see huge changes. I mean, you may go from a 38 pant size to a 34 or a 32.
Sure.
Just because of where I started and where I ended, there weren't big, drastic changes there. I know many of you will have huge changes, and I want to see them, and so does Dustin. So if you jump on board, please hit us up, Twitter at @FitMarriage. We'd love to help you along. I would definitely love to just follow you and see how you're doing. Another result that I love to share, resting heart rate. And I give blood every 58 days. Is that right, Dustin? Is that how often we give blood?
Yeah, I think that's it. I'm giving blood this afternoon. I think that's the right frequency.
Awesome. Right on. So every 58 days. So I was a couple days into Insanity, gave blood. My resting heart rate, 4:30 in the afternoon, that's when I give blood, 61 beats per minute. Went in right at the end. I had 2 or 3 days left. Same time, 4:30, resting heart rate. And I was excited because I was telling the guy who was taking my blood pressure and everything about Insanity, how I was feeling and all this. So I was talking. I wasn't really just relaxing. My resting heart rate, 47 beats per minute.
Incredible. And, I mean, what a difference in your overall health. For a lot of people, they'll still hear 61 and they'll think, "Well, is this guy in a coma?" But once you become a well-trained, you know, athlete and you've done a lot of endurance cycling, your heart is so efficient it doesn't need to beat that often. And so you get down to 61. That's excellent. And to go from 61 to 47, you know, from a extraordinary baseline down all the way to 47 in 63 days is just unreal. That speaks volumes to the power that the interval training can have on your cardiovascular system.
Right.
You know, let alone
for you guys out there, think about how that affects you. You know, think about how much pressure you're taking off of your heart, off of your internal system by doing that. And even for myself, you know, 61 to 47, my body is just working way more efficient.
Yeah.
You know? That's the cool thing about things like this. So I was stoked with that.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And what else did you have to share? I know you have a lot of specific exercises from the fit test, and probably we don't want to go through every one, but maybe if you want to select a few and maybe describe what they are, because the names a lot of people won't relate to, and then your first fit test and your last fit test. I've heard a few of these, and they're pretty incredible.
Yeah. Let's see. Power jacks, similar to a jumping jack, but the difference being when you come down, you actually go into a squat position.
Okay.
So you go up, your hands touch. When you come down, when you go up, your hands touch, your feet are together. When you come down, your feet open up into a squat position and your arms come down. And you do these each for a minute at a time. My first fit test, day one, power jacks, I did 44. And I was hurting.
44 in a minute. That's pretty fast.
Yeah, I was humping. For those of you who are just jumping on, we'll put a link to the post I put after my first fit test, because that's going to tell you a story in itself of even me being fit. I was laying on my bathroom floor for 10 minutes. That's just from the fit test, I gave it my all. Yeah, this is after the fit test. So power jacks, first day 44, day 63, the last fit test, 68.
Unreal, yeah. So 50%.
And I just couldn't believe it. Let's see, power knees. Those are really cool. It's a exercise where your hands are over your head, and what you're doing is as your hands come down to your waist, your knee comes up to your waist. So it's really fast. Your hands come down, your knee comes up, and then you go back. Your foot touches the ground, your hands are over your head, and you just keep going. Boom, 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 boom. First fit test, 88. Last fit test, 112.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. Yeah. So 2 per second. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I was really stoked with that. Push-up jacks, I'll give you 2 more here. Push-up jacks, you're down in a push-up position, but when you come down, your feet open up like a jumping jack. Okay. And then you come back up. And so this is the only one, actually there's 2 of them that do upper body, but this is one of them. So push-up jacks, I did 21, first fit test, last fit test, 39.
Wow. You almost doubled.
So upper body. Yeah. And then the last one I'm going to talk about, the low plank oblique. This is when you're in a plank position, and what you're doing is you're bringing your knee up to basically your elbow. You're in a plank position, your feet are behind you, and then you're bringing that knee, each knee, up to your elbow, basically, to the side.
Yep.
45, first fit test, 88 on the last.
Man, so I guess that speaks to the core. That's really your core, your abs, low back, obliques, and hips. So again, almost doubled. And I know you were pushing it on the first fit test, so this isn't a matter of effort or even so much stamina. Probably it's just that much more strength and power. Because I know Insanity is really targeted to be a performance workout, so it's really great for athletes. And it's really all about performance, and that's clear in those results. Those are very athletic moves that you described there. A few of them are similar to some of the workouts in P90X, and I'm trying to imagine even doing them for a minute straight, let alone doing them, just the maximum effort and multiples of them in a given fit test. So that's fantastic, Tony.
Yeah, I'm really stoked. So here's the way I'd love to end this, Dustin, with folks out there. If you're doing Insanity now, picked it up, maybe you've stopped looking to do it, you know what? I'll tell you, one of the best things that helped me out was that I had a community of folks. Yep. One of the guys I know through work, he jumped on with me. And, we were chatting on Facebook. A number of folks through Twitter that I've met jumped on board. They either started it right after me, right at the same time, or a little bit ahead of me. Been following them, telling them what's up. They're letting me know what's up. So my thing is to you, get in the community. Get in with us, because I want to know how you're doing, and I want to help you along in whatever way that I can so that you can get the results that you're looking to get.
Yep.
And many of those mornings when I was waking up, and really I didn't want to get out of bed, I was thinking about all those folks out there who were doing the workout, who were wondering how I was doing, and it made me get up and press play. And so,
that's
yeah,
great.
get on over to Team Fit Mat.
I was just going to say, go ahead and tell them what's the best way to, there's a lot of ways to join our community, but what's the best?
Yeah, get to teamfitmarriage.com, click on the Join Us tab, and that's free. You can join us for free. Let us know how we can help you out, because that's what it's about. It's about you getting healthy for you, your family, so that you can get the energy that you want back. You can do the sports you want to do. Maybe this is just a launching point. Like one of the guys I'm following and talking with on Twitter, this for him is just so he can run better. His passion is running, but he noticed, just like me with cycling, his core was lackluster. And so he's going through this so he can do better at his running. So maybe it's for you. You want to just be able to play with your kids. You don't want to get out of breath running across the playground.
Yeah.
Dude, that's admirable. But sometimes you need somebody there beside you when you're having a low day, or you want to share those accomplishments. Because I'll tell you, it's awesome when you can share accomplishments with people. And we're here to hear about your accomplishments. I want to hear them.
I was just going to say, if you've got, whether it's Insanity or really any other Beachbody success story, with Beachbody programs in particular, because that's where our focus is, definitely hit us up. Just go to Team Fit Marriage. There's .com. There's a contact button there, and just send us a message and let us know. And if you'd like, you may be shy, but if you'd like, we'd love to interview you and actually do a podcast episode to share your story, because it'll probably be very different than Tony's. You'll probably start in a different place. Maybe you're a woman. Maybe you're a little older or a little younger, and you have different goals. And it's great to hear these things, because I know I'm fired up. I'm in the middle of P90X right now, but I'm fired up hearing Tony's story, and definitely considering maybe Insanity is the next step for me when I get done with P90X. So definitely helps our community to just share your story. And if you don't want to share your story publicly, that's cool too. And we want to be here for you and help coach you along. So again, teamfitmarriage.com, you can take care of that. Tony, I had a few closing words here, some to share with folks. But was there anything with Insanity that you still had left that you wanted to share?
I'm done.
Okay, yeah, you did a great job covering it. I know we're a little over 30 minutes. We try to keep these fairly short. One thing, we mentioned that probably 5 or 6 different things we're going to link up to here, and you may be wondering where you can find those links. If you go to teamfitmarriage.com, again, up at the very top of the site, there's about 4 or 5 different links there, and one of those says podcast. And if you click on that, it'll take you to a page that shows every podcast. And so you'll find this episode and open up that post, and there will be all the links that you need. So that's that. The other thing I wanted to do is just thank you all. This is only our 5th or 6th show, 5th show, I think, or 6th show, and we're very excited because we're currently ranked number 1 in iTunes for fitness for new and noteworthy. So it means a lot of new people are finding us. So if you're new and this is your first episode, welcome. Very enthusiastic here and very happy to have you join us. And be sure to listen to those first 5 episodes. A couple of other success stories in there, some background about why this show exists and how you can get plugged in. So if you're listening to us on iTunes, we love you. We appreciate that. And if you're so inclined, if you can just click and leave us a rating, or if you want to leave a short comment, that really helps other people find the show. That's really what it's all about in iTunes, and helping to spread the good word about Beachbody and being healthy for our families and for our lives. So that's all we have today, and we'll talk to you all very, very soon.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you for joining us for the Beachbody Success Show. For more information on how to find ultimate success with Beachbody, head over to teamfitmarriage.com and click Get Started Here. For questions or comments, please call 858-876-5348. Have a wonderful day, and here's to your success.